Well, hello. I have a question for you. Who here has played a game of chess before? Oh, nice. More than I expected. Well, chess has been my passion ever since I was 6 years old. My dad used to have this tiny magnetic chess set that he would play my mom and I on when I was 2 years old. I hated losing to him just as much as my mother did. After a while, I become better in chess, and I become better than my father, and I could beat him until last year, when my brother got better than me in chess. Fast forward to 2015. That year, I made a very difficult choice. I decided to decline playing for Iranian national team, and I started to look for a more suitable country to live in and play chess for. I made that decision because of the lack of freedom in Iran, and my parents decided to help me with this decision to want to live elsewhere, somewhere where my gender wouldn't be limits. And that is why today I'm talking about taking our freedom of choice seriously. I'm Dorsa Derakhshani. I've won many chess tournaments internationally and more chess games than I can ever count. But I'm also a woman grandmaster and a man international master in chess. But I'm better known in chess and in society because of the consequences of a choice I made. In 2017, I was under intense media scrutiny, which was not easy for me. Since 2017, I started to live in the US and play for the second best collegiate chess team in the United States, which is at St. Louis University, where I'm also a student on pre-med track. And I haven't been able to see my family until yesterday, where I met my mother. Thank you. My parents helped me a lot to understand freedom of choice from the beginning. When I was 2.5 years old, my mother and father helped me finish first grade, and by the time I was 4 years old, they homeschooled me to finish fourth grade. But they never pushed me down any path. They wanted me to make my own choices, and they wanted me to go my own path. So they just helped me understand life by nourishing my abilities. And they taught me a lot of different skills, such as swimming, painting, playing music, playing chess, ballet. And they helped me be a TV host for a live TV channel for kids from when I was 2.5 years old until I was 6 years old. So my first gender-related hard choice to make was when I was 6 years old. I decided to drop TV hosting because they wanted me to wear hijab, and that was just ridiculous to me. 6 years old, hijab, it just wouldn't go. Another choice that I had to make, and it was really hard for me, was when I was in third grade. I had a very, very interesting teacher. Third grade is when I had just won my first national championship among girls under 8, and I was good enough in music that I could perform solo concerts. And the last time I saw this teacher was when she was walking around the classroom and pointing towards me, trying to make an example out of me, because she said that I believed I was different and I was extraordinary, and she was saying it was like a bad thing. I came home instantly and I cried to my mother, and I told her that I didn't understand what did I do wrong. All I ever did to her, in my perception, was I corrected her when she was giving the classroom wrong scientific facts. And for that, she decided to make an example out of me. What I mainly learned from that is that because I trusted my parents, because they were always honest with me and I believed everything they said, I still do, I trusted my parents enough to tell them my problems and ask for help. And they didn't let me down. They fought that teacher and that school, and they enrolled me in a better school. I also learned from that experience that there are always going to be people who'll try to bring you down when you stand out. I mentioned earlier that I was under intense media scrutiny in 2017. At the time, the only interview I gave was to a website called chess.com with the title of "My Wardrobe Should Not Be Anybody's Business." Thank you. I applied the same logic when I won my first national championship, and I decided to wear my tiara and my princess dress. To 8-year-old me, that success and that power that I felt was equal to being a very wise ruler. And, well, even today, the way I dress each day represents how I feel on that day. And as a female in a male-dominated sport, I frequently receive this, let's call it worried comments that, aren't you afraid that men are not going to like you because you're more successful than them? Or, if you ever plan to get married, you should be less opinionated and more humble. Sorry. Supposedly, my success hurts men's ego and pride. Well, if men get intimidated by my success, those are the men that I am not interested in. Well, I think that boys should be more afraid of playing an uninteresting game of chess rather playing a girl and losing to a girl. Speaking of chess and gender, did you know that in overall world ranking of chess players, there is not a single woman in top 100? That's quite sad to me. Why is it that men play better chess than women? We agree that female and male have a lot of differences. For example, we agree that on average, male are physically stronger, so we expect them to be better in certain sports. But why chess? Chess is not a physical battle at all. So could that mean that men are better thinkers? Does their brain work better? Well, that can't be it, because when you go to a doctor, you trust them with your life, regardless of the gender. So this got me thinking, if it's not biological, then why is it that society has these differences between genders? And I believe that the main issue is psychological and environmental circumstances that lead to these barriers between genders in society. And I wanted to look at it in a more scientific way. So I read a lot of scientific articles and papers. And yes, there are many differences in humans, especially between genders, and one of them is in our brains. On average, according to Stanford Medicine, men have bigger brain sizes, but at the same time, women have bigger hippocampus sizes. Hippocampus is essential for learning and memorization. Also, according to Stanford Medicine, the differences between brains does not support one gender's dominance. It's just different. Different ways of processing information, different ways of making a decision. That does not mean that one gender makes better decisions, just different. So sex differences are such a popular topic that since the year 2000, there has been more than 30,000 scientific papers published on them. We look for these divisions because we kind of want them to be true in hopes of that it will lessen or stop these battles of sexes. However, even within one gender, no two brains are alike. So how can we even begin to make these claims that one gender is better, and how can we even make these things that go to gender limitations and gender inequality? This is why I believe that gender limitations are not due to lack of anything biological, and they're instead mainly based on psychological and environmental factors that trap us in our own constructed gender identities. So if we teach our kids early on about these differences and try to figure out who has what abilities and what talents instead of what gender they are, would that help gender equality? We know that humans are not the same. Men and women, men and men, women and women, we're all different. So instead of looking at what are these differences, why can't we just focus on the ability and talent and try to help each one reach their full potential? Also, we agree, well, not all of us agree, but we agree that these differences between male and female tend to lead to imbalance between genders. But I believe that male and female deserve equal opportunities, equal respect, and equal payment. And this different... And having differences is a good thing. It means we have more talent and more equal, instead of having everybody the same. So I believe that having these differences is what makes each one of us unique. So I say let's go one step further than just boys and girls and look into how to teach our kids to want to exert their freedom of choice. First thing is, I believe that parents, guardians, and teachers are the best ones that can help children understand these differences. And they can do this helping by respecting them, especially by telling the truth to them, being honest with them. And in return, the children will trust you and will tell you anything that's keeping them down. And I believe that is how you can foster children's full potential. My second point is understanding humans' biology, and especially brain, is what got me interested into wanting to become a doctor. And I'm going to do that, hopefully. That I'm also studying biology on pre-med track in St. Louis University. And I would love to see the continuation of research on humans' brains. My third take-home message, and my final one, is that regardless of one's genders, there's always going to be obstacles in your way. And one of the things that I learned from chess, and it's very helpful, is that, so in chess, you can either attack your opponent's plan directly, or you can maneuver around it. And I've used this strategically maneuvering in my real life. So facing these big obstacles in my life, even though I have believed in myself, stood my ground, I have also used this strategically maneuvering, and I removed myself from that toxic environment. And I got myself a nice support group, and that helps me try to be the best me I can be. And I'm extremely thankful to have my parents, friends and faculty at SLU, St. Louis Chess Club, and many others that I can't think of right now, to help me pull my weight at any time. Without knowing what I've been doing, I've been trying my whole life for freedom of choice and for balance between genders. Now, I believe that the problem is setting the bar lower for girls and thinking about gender expectations and gender roles when we think about feminism. But I say let's think about the bigger picture and try to help everybody regardless of their genders, and by focusing on one's ability and talents rather than their genders. I believe this will help everybody to reach their full potentials. And we can do that by giving them knowledge to want to make their own choices. I firmly believe that you have the ability to make a difference in the world with the choices that you make. Thank you.